Hey everybody, it's that time for my college football picks for the opening weekend of October. The games start to take on a little bit more significance, so we'll go over my picks for the week in just a little bit, and I'll also have a recap of how myself and this guy, the coin, did last week. But first, we'll begin my show with nominees for Team of the Week. And then, of course, later we'll have Disgrace of the Week, so don't miss that. Nominees for Team of the Week. Look, probably know that I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan by watching my videos. So you might be saying, why am I about to do what I'm about to do? Well, one of my nominees for Team of the Week is the Texas Longhorns. If I'm going to put the O in objectivity, you have to give credit to Texas. They're now 4-0. They went into a pretty loud environment in Stillwater, were able to survive Oklahoma State's offensive onslaught, and put some points together on their own, and they came up with a clutch drive in the final minutes to beat Oklahoma State, converting a 4th and 9 in your own territory with about a minute to go, knowing if you don't convert, you lose the ball game. And David Ash has gotten better as QB for the Longhorns. Running game's good. The receivers with Jackson Shipley, who had a big game against the Pokes as well on Saturday night, he's clutch right now. The defense for Texas still has some work to do, but for the moment, Texas is a team to be reckoned with, and again, they're off to a 4-0 start. So you have to give credit where credit's due, and the Texas Longhorns winning at Stillwater, they definitely deserve credit for that. Also, the Louisville Cardinals and Cincinnati Bearcats from the Big East, they're going to get nominations as well. Louisville for winning in that rainstorm at Southern Miss. I don't know if you saw the game on television, but yeah, it wasn't just rain, but it was rain and it was windy, and Louisville handled Southern Miss and they handled the elements. And Cincinnati for going to Washington, D.C. and beating Virginia Tech. Cincinnati, they're undefeated as well, just like Louisville. Even though the Big Ten has not had a big year as far as the national scene goes, the Ohio State Buckeyes are still undefeated, and they came up with a road victory. First road game of the year for Urban Meyer's crew. Ohio State's defense comes through, winning at Michigan State. But my Team of the Week, and you might be saying I have a love fest for the Pac-12. Trust me, I don't. But when I look at what teams have done the past week, not only as far as how they've played, but what was expected of them, the Oregon State Beavers deserve to be the Team of the Week. 3 games they played this year, all 3 games, they were underdogs, and they've won in all facets. First, they beat Wisconsin in a low-scoring game to start the year. Then they get off to a good start against UCLA and make it hold up by winning at the Rose Bowl. And then this past week at Arizona, in the final minute, coming from behind to win. Mike Riley has the boys from Corvallis playing pretty well right now. They're ranked in the top 25. They're 3-0. And I know the big talk in Oregon right now is about the Ducks because Oregon's ranked 2 in the country. But I'm telling you what, Oregon State is making a name for themselves right now. I don't think they're going to win the Pac-12, but they are overachieving. So I think they deserve Team of the Week for the way they're playing right now, and also for the fact that they're doing a lot better than anybody thought they would do. So Oregon State, you get my Team of the Week for the week that we're in right now. Okay, time now for my disgraces of the week, and there were quite a few. First of all, to Wisconsin and Nebraska for those hideous throwback uniforms. I mean, look at that. I mean, a W and an N on the front jersey, and I know they're trying to sell these things because they're throwbacks. Well, there was a reason why we call them throwbacks, because they don't belong in this era anymore. Why wear them? I mean, what's going to happen next? We're going to see the Riddler come out with a question mark on his chest? I mean, come on. This just does not look appealing whatsoever. Please, Wisconsin. Please, Nebraska. I have respect for your programs, but please don't ever wear those things again. They're hard on the eyes. Also, a disgrace nomination goes to the Baylor and West Virginia defenses. And I know both offenses are very good. I'm not denying that. But are you kidding me? 19 combined touchdowns. There were Jurassic Park-sized offensive line holes. And my gosh, nobody was covering anybody. There were wide open receivers. No wonder Geno Smith had a monster day. No wonder Nick Florence piled up a lot of yards as well as touchdown passes. 70-63. The only time you should ever see 70-63 is if you're playing your Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 and you're playing Madden 13 or EA Sports College Football. 70-63 does not belong in Division I football, all right? But my disgrace of the week goes to the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I know that they were a 13-point underdog against Texas A&M. But it was a bigger defeat margin for Arkansas than just that. They were absolutely humiliated. And again, it looks like Arkansas has just quit on head coach John L. Smith. And I'd be shocked if he were brought back next year. As a matter of fact, Arkansas, pretty much do yourself a favor and get rid of him right now. These players don't like to play for him. It would appear from the naked eye. And also, it looks as if he doesn't have any control of that team whatsoever. Arkansas becomes the first team since the 1984 Pittsburgh Panthers to lose 4 games in the month of September after being ranked in the preseason top 10. And by the way, for Arkansas, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. You play at Auburn this week. You're going to be an underdog there. Plus, you still have games against South Carolina. Still have to play also against LSU. So it's not going to get easier for Arkansas. They are my disgrace of the week. Might be my disgrace of the year, as a matter of fact. All right, everybody, it's time now for my picks. Let's go ahead and go over last week's picks briefly. You know you're having a bad year when you go 5-5, which I did last week, and it's your best week of the year. It's been a pretty rough time of it for yours truly, but at least it was a non-losing week. So I go 5-5 last week against the spread. The coin was a game better than me at 6-4. So for the year, the coin's at 26-19, and I'm 13 games worse at 13-32. There's 9 weeks left to go, so let's see what happens. We'll begin with a Thursday game, October 4th, USC at Utah. You know, at the beginning of the year when I was looking at the schedule, I was really looking forward to this ball game. I thought both teams would be better than what they are right now. USC has lost once, Utah's lost more than once, and of course, Utah lost Jordan Wynn at the beginning of the year, their quarterback. USC, I think, will have too much offense in this one. I know USC will have to deal with the environment in Utah, the altitude, but I think their offense will be too much for the Utes to handle. Give me USC minus the 14.5. The coin lands on heads. It likes the favorite. Tails, it goes with the underdog. Coin is going to take Utah. Now for Saturday games, beginning in the Big 12, the big one in Austin. Couple of undefeateds. West Virginia is at Texas. Both offenses playing well so far. That's an understatement. But both defenses have issues. And with Texas, that's a surprise because they've got the talent on defense, but right now they're not executing well. But the bottom line is West Virginia, I don't see any talent on the defensive side. The game's in Austin. I think Texas keeps it going. Give me the Longhorns minus the 6.5, and the coin is going to take, here we go, it's going to take West Virginia. Kansas is at Kansas State. No need to break this game down. Kansas stinks. Kansas State usually owns Kansas. It'll be UGLY, and in the end, Kansas won't have an alibi. It'll be ugly. Give me K-State minus the 24.5. The coin is going to take Kansas State as well. Iowa State at TCU. Not sure if Casey Paha, the TCU quarterback, is going to play in this one. He's questionable for the moment, but I think TCU wins for 2 reasons. One, because of their defense, and plus the game's at Fort Worth. So TCU, give me the Horned Frogs minus 10, and the coin is going to take TCU as well. Big game coming up in Columbia, South Carolina. It is the Gamecocks of South Carolina against the Georgia Bulldogs. SEC East bragging rights at stake. Unfortunately for Georgia, they lost their all-everything receiver, Michael Bennett. South Carolina's defense is pretty darn good. The running game is good. Plus, South Carolina playing at home. And remember, South Carolina typically plays pretty well against Georgia. The old ball coach seems to have Mark Richt's number. I think that continues. South Carolina in an almost pick 'em. Give me the Gamecocks minus the point, and the coin is going to take Georgia. LSU is at Florida. Also a couple of undefeateds in the SEC. I know LSU has not been playing well as of late. Barely got by Auburn a couple of weeks ago, and then against Townsend State, kind of struggled, but did pull away. I think LSU puts together a pretty good ball game, and this will be the toughest competition Florida has seen this year. It's in the swamp, but I think LSU gets it back. Give me the Tigers minus the 2.5. and the coin is going to take LSU as well. In Chicago, at Soldier Field, it'll be Miami at Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are unbeaten. The Fighting Irish have overachieved, and they've done it primarily on the defensive side of the ball, and they've been getting some consistent quarterback play as well. Miami's lost just one game this year, but that loss was a humiliating one to K-State. I think Notre Dame will contain Miami, and it'll be a pretty much home slanted game for the Fighting Irish, playing this one not far from South Bend. Give me the Irish minus the 13 in the renewal of this rivalry, and the coin is going to take Miami. You know, I appreciate the military big time, so we're going to go ahead and break down the Navy at Air Force game. There's going to be a lot of running, very little passing in this one. I have not been impressed, though, with the way Navy has been playing this year. I think Air Force's triple option will be too much. Give me the Falcons minus the 8, and the coin is going to go with Air Force 2. Northwestern at Penn State. Pat Fitzgerald has Northwestern playing good right now. They're ranked in the top 25. This will be a low-scoring game. I think Northwestern, though, keeps the momentum going. Penn State's already lost a couple of times. The Nittany Lions have been playing a little bit better lately, but the competition in this one is going to be stiffer than what Penn State has played since early in the year. Give me Northwestern plus the 2.5 at State College, PA, and the coin is going to take Northwestern as well, the underdog. Nebraska is at Ohio State. The Buckeyes, as we mentioned, are unbeaten. They're 5-0, and I'm sure Ohio State hasn't forgotten about that loss in Lincoln last year. I'm going to go with the better defense in this case. I'm taking Ohio State. They're also playing this game at the Horseshoe. The Buckeyes minus the 3.5. That's the side I'm leaning on, and the coin is going to go with Ohio State too. And then finally, in the Pac-12, Washington is at Oregon. Washington coming off the upset victory over Stanford, but Oregon playing at home, that's tough. And number 2, you have to contain a pretty darn good offense and a defense that's very hard to move the ball against. Give me Oregon minus the 24.5, and the coin is going to lean toward Oregon too. So those are my picks for the week. What were yours? A reminder, sometime Saturday evening, I'll have my post-game show of OU at Texas Tech, and we'll be back at about the same bat time next week, definitely the same bat channel, as we'll have another episode next week of my college football picks. Thanks for watching.